皆さん元気ですか？4月、4月の10日ですね。Today's April 10th, 土曜日、Saturday. Our class is always Saturday, so that's the only days a week we probably use, but I hope everybody's well. 皆さん元気ですか？ How's everyone? はい。Hope you are 元気。そう、元気です。If you say, if you're fine, then you can say 元気です。Alright. So today I know we're starting early, we're ending early. We have a special guest, a worship person, the Bible study. So I wanted to get stuff ready. So that's why we're starting early today. Hope that this would be okay. So let me pull out our Facebook page so I can see everybody's comments. Alright, so はい、いいですね。はい、ありがとう。みんな来てくれてありがとう。おはようございます。はい、じゃあ今日は、またカタカナやります。So we are continuing with katakana review or refresher or the first time, whatever it is, it's good. So this is the third week of katakana. So we're looking at sa, shi, su, se, so. That's our katakana for today. Sa, shi, su, se, so. If you're Spanish speaking person, these two sounds are a little bit difficult. Shi, shi, sa, shi. So you kind of make your mouth a little shi like that, shi, right? And su, right? Sa, shi, su, se, so. That's how it's pronounced, right? So how do you draw, right? So sa, start from left to right, and the small one up to and down, always up, down, right? Not the other way. And then the last one is the big one, the big stroke. She there are different angles of that on the first two one, but I usually write with a straight, two straight one, and then bottom to top. For this one, you have to do bottom to top of she, the third stroke, because if you do top to bottom, that's another character. So that's one of those exceptions. But if you do from bottom to top, it would look more like she. Okay, because it looks similar to tsu, which we're gonna do sakasata right next week, right? So trying to distinguish and make it distinguishable for other people be important. So su has only two strokes, one, this one, and then su, the other one. Se, also two strokes, the first one to the left to right, and then this big sort of like 90-degree angle type thing. And then so, the last one, the little dot is first, and then so is top to bottom. Again, do the other way, it's going to be which we will do at the end. So is top to bottom. So you kind of have to remember that, but hopefully you get used to it and it'll come natural to you. Okay, what are the words with great? Hi, good morning. Hi, 皆さんのメッセージ見ます。ありがとうね。モニカさん、トマスさん、スカーレットさん、ね、ありがとうございます。はい、so the couple words with katakana that we've learned so far. First one is ushi, ushi. I put in hiragana here. Ushi, ushi. It's cow. So the animal cow, because it's beef and the product of the cow are different. So when you say ushi, it's simply meaning cow. Ushi. You can also write in hiragana, but you also see it in katakana as well. The second one is esa. Esa. Esa is what animals eat, like food for animals I put, right? So esa, 牛が餌を食べる taberu is to eat, right? So cow is eating their food. Cows are eating their food. So esa also can be written in hiragana. So it was harder than I thought to find katakana words. Like your names will be katakana for sure, than other things, but because I only have 15 to pull from, it was a little challenging to find. But the third one is casa. Casa. Casa in Spanish is house, but in Japanese, casa, exactly same pronunciation. Casa is umbrella. So if you know the Spanish or that's your first language, you got the new word, casa, umbrella. See? And also write in hiragana. Kisu. Kisu, that's the fourth one. Kiss, like besito, like the one that you do with my son does. This one, because it's a foreign word, you don't. When I see it in hiragana, it looks weird. This also is a name of fish, but that's not a typical kind of fish, not tuna or anything. I can tell you what it is in English. So, but generally, I think the kiss, like a beso, like that. Kisu would be only katakana. And the last one, well, the very last one is a bonus. I'll tell you in a few seconds. But the last one here is sasa. Sasa. Sasa is what pandas eat. Okay, so panda, so when I looked it up, it says panda eats bamboos. But there's a distinct word. So the bamboo tree, it's not even tree really, but the bamboo, the hard part, the thick part, it's like a trunk of the tree. That part is called take. That's why I have the last one, take, which ta is the next week's word. But the leaves are called sasa. A panda doesn't eat the trunk of the bamboo. They eat the leaves of the bamboo. So that's why I give you a distinction. Pandas eat sasa, not take. So what pandas eat is sasa, bamboo leaves. I call it bamboo leaves. I think that would be an accurate description. So sasa, just the same sa twice, right? Okay, let's show you the strokes, how to draw, and I made it even today, 50%. So hopefully that will be helpful to you. Mirror mode. Okay, let's see. I got this. Sa. She. It's a little bit of angle, but you can make it straight as well. Se. So you can see from the top to bottom. Okay, those are the katakanas for today. So hope you can keep increasing your katakana ability to read and write and all that. Okay, and also vocabulary. All right, so next part is the Bible. Seisho. Seisho is Bible. So let's keep at it. Okay, so we've been looking at this Jesus Bible story, and we've been looking at Isaiah, book of Isaiah, which in Japanese would be here, Isaiah Sho. Sho is a kanji, but it means like a book of Isaiah, which you hear that expression in English as well. Isaiah Sho. See the sa that we learned today, sa in tenten will be za. Same rule, same sort of pattern as hiragana, right? But the I, you learned I last 2 weeks ago. I, za, sa ni tenten, Isaiah Sho. Yeah, so that's where this writing is based on, because Isaiah heard from God and wrote all the stuff that he has heard, and a lot of things that he writes about, what God speaks to him about, is about Jesus thousands of years ago, right? So it's fascinating to see how same God who created the world and Adam and Eve spoke to Isaiah somewhere in the middle, right? And then Jesus was born and died and resurrected, which we celebrated just last week, Easter. And today in our lives, that that resurrection, death and the resurrection still has a lot of meaning to our lives. Like a very important meaning for our lives. So Isaiah, one of those, we've been looking at this last week. We looked at the song for the Easter, so that was a different one. But we've been looking at writings about like how Jesus came about, and then how he lived. He didn't live like a king in a palace and a rich person, okanemochi, じゃなかったね. So he was rather poor. He's a king, but he was very humble, right? He had a humble life. So all that next part is today. Let's see. So I give you the general idea in English. I think my English version is in the other room. But so the idea is, but this child, there hardly ever, almost any, a lot of people don't receive this child, which is Jesus. Rather, many hated him and hate him and don't listen to him, his words. This child suffered and died like a lamb who was sacrificed in the altar. But this is a secret rescue plan that God prepared before the world began. So that's the text in English. I used the sort of paraphrased it. Okay, let's look at the sentences per sentence. Okay, so I'm reading the first one now. でも、この子を受け入れる人はほとんどいない。Again, でも、この子を受け入れる人はほとんどいない。So, でも is but, この is that. Oh, sorry, this. This. 子 is a child. This child, お is a connecting word. 受け入れる。受け入れる is to receive. 人, person, but I think it means plural here. 受け入れる人はほとんどいない。ほとんど is like a really negative, right? ない is いない is like doesn't exist, right? So ほとんど is really. So but almost nobody received this person. That's how it's written, right? むしろ this is a little bit I think that I don't use it a lot, but むしろ rather 多くの者がこの子を憎んでその言葉に耳を傾けないだろう。Again, むしろ多くの者がこの子を憎んでその言葉に耳を傾けないだろう。Okay, むしろ I say rather. 多くの、多く is a lot. A lot of もの is like a also person. 多くのものがこの子 you see in the first sentence as well この子 this child を憎んで hate 憎んでその言葉 is a word that this child speaks, right? So his word, I translated his words. 言葉 is words. 言葉に耳 耳 is ear. 耳を傾けないだろう。耳を傾ける is like lean your ears. So you're leaning your ears means you're listening, right? So 耳を傾けない。ない is a negative. ないだろう。So rather, people hate him and this child and don't listen to his words. Again, この子 this child この子は祭壇に捧げられる羊のように苦しみ死ぬのだ。Again, この子は祭壇に捧げられる羊のように苦しみ死ぬのだ。Okay, so this child, again, 祭壇 is altar, like to sacrifice things, like the holy place, right? 祭壇に捧げられる、being sacrificed, 捧げられる。られる is like the passive. 羊 is a sheep, lamb or sheep. 羊のように like a lamb. 苦しみむ is to suffer. 死ぬ is to die. 苦しみ死ぬのだ。So this child suffer and die like a lamb sacrificed in the altar, which is sort of the illustration and how people from Israel sacrificed animals like lamb as ultimate sacrifice for their sins. So kind of giving a contrast. We might not do that now, but or most of us maybe not be familiar with it, but that's the custom, right, from the time of the Old Testament. でも the next one and the last. It's a long sentence, so let's try. でもこれが世界が始まるずっと前から私の用意していた秘密の救出作戦だ。Okay, もう一回 again. Okay, it's long, but it's the last one, so let's keep at it. Okay, でもこれが世界が始まるずっと前から私の用意していた秘密の救出作戦だ。Okay. でも、see, you see the first one also でも、but これが、this is 世界 is a world 世界が始まる is begin ずっと前から so since long time before so 前 is before ずっと is a long time so since long before the world began 私 is a person speaking the word, in this case, not me, but God, right? So God is I. God, 私の用意していた。用意していた is a prepared. 用意する is a prepared, right? But していた is past. So 秘密 is a secret. Okay? 秘密の救出作戦だ。Okay, it's a big word. 救出. It also has two U, small u, right? 救出 is rescue. 作戦 is like a plan or strategies. I translate it as plan, but it could also be translated as strategy. That is just to end the sentence. So but having this Jesus and died and resurrected for us, That is what God has prepared for us since a long time before um, the world began. This is a secret plan for us. So that's God's plan. Even though it seemed like, all these people have to play a role for Jesus to die, God has prepared all this, right? So, and the same God is alive today, and He loves each of us, and He has special plans for each of us, right? And He loves us not because of what I can do or what I do, but because of who I am, of who you are, which is very, very important. And that was one of the things that hit me. Like I see so many deficits in my life, in myself, right? But then God doesn't see that. He sees just me as a person. It was just amazing to me. Right? Okay, so thank you for sticking to this. I know it's a little hard, and sometimes when I talk to my husband, especially, he says, how do you know where to cut, like sort of pause and whatnot? But if you are seeing the structures many times or learning more words, then you could recognize those words, right? For example, like sekai, if you know the word sekai, is like this is a noun, God is a connecting word. So you know like where to pause, right? So it seems like it's a long way to go, but we'll build a little by little by practicing and seeing and listening through this class and whatever else you need to do. So keep trying. All right. So next is marugoto. Okay. Marugoto. Okay. So today we are starting lesson 9. I was giving you a preview. Lesson 9 is about lives, like a daily lives. So this person is waiting for a train in Tokyo or greater Tokyo area. His family is brushing teeth, hamigaki, right? In the morning maybe. So lesson 10, lesson 9, lesson 10 is about like daily life schedules. What do you do each day, time of the day or the week kind of stuff. So lesson 9, 何時に起きますか？何時に起きますか？ What time do you get up? What time do you get up? Right? 何時 is what time. 起きますか? Ka is question, right? 起きます to get up. So this person, whoever it is, this person A, 起きます。朝ね。朝、morning. 起きます、get up. Hope we can get up like this, nice and fresh, bright and cheerful. And that's 6時半ね。6時半に起きます。So numbers, if we know numbers, this will be tremendously helpful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6時半. Han means half. So 6:30, you can say 6:30 like 6時30分, but much easier to say 半. Like 6 and a half. 6 and a half kind of stuff, right? Like 6:30. 6時半に起きます. Here it says there. 6時半に起きます. Right? And B here, what do you do next? Well, this person, 朝ごはんを食べます。朝ごはんを食べます。Asa is morning. ごはん is meal. So breakfast is 朝ごはん is breakfast. 朝ごはんを食べます。I eat breakfast. 食べます to eat. コーヒーとパン食べます。はい。C. This person, what he does next is 新聞を読みます。新聞を読みます。 Shinbun is newspaper, as you can see. It's like kind of like a typical image of men. I don't know in reality at this age how many people read newspaper after or during breakfast, but it's sort of like you see dramas and stuff. You see men like reading newspaper in the morning, but now we have electronic means and things, so we still also have paper newspaper, but might be less common. So 新聞 newspaper を読みます。読みます is to read. Read newspaper. Okay? 7時半、7時半、7:30、7時半に会社に行きます。Well, this because this person is working. 会社に行きます。会社 is company. 会社に行きます。行きます to go. Go to his company. If you go to school, then you might, instead of saying 会社, you say 学校。学校に行きます。学校に行きます。Wherever it is you go, you say that. So he works from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So 午前9時から午後5時まで仕事をします。午前 is a.m. 午前 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. 午後 is p.m. 午前9時から from 9 o'clock in the morning 午後5時まで to 5 p.m. からまで it kind of shows the duration. 仕事をします。仕事 is work. 仕事をします。します is する. Like the original form is する. To do, so do work. It's basically what it is. 仕事をします. Working on a computer. Okay, and F. 昼ご飯を食べます。12 o'clock. 12時. 昼ご飯を食べます。昼 is like noon time. 昼ご飯 see it's the same as 朝ごはんご飯。昼ご飯 is lunch because it's like a meal around the lunch noon time. So 昼ご飯を食べます。Looks like he's eating I don't know, ramen or soba, udon, some sort of noodles. Okay. I guess that's it. I thought there was like at night routine too, but it's done. There's like it doesn't go further after 12. But you get idea that he works from 9 to 5, so you know where he is until 5, and then after that he goes home or he goes out to drink with his coworkers. That's also typical. Maybe not every day. My father really did that, but some people that's sort of like a part of the work. It's like, you hang out with your people at work, build a relationship, I don't know. But so that's a work routine that this person has. So the notebook page, it has numbers and also really number because you need number to say the hour. But also when you put G after, that means like it's showing like o'clock. Like for example, 1時, right? So it's 1 o'clock. 1 is 1, right? So 1時 is 1 o'clock. So just this, you don't know it's in the morning or afternoon, unless you're saying is 1時に昼ご飯を食べます. So if you're saying I eat lunch at 1, you think in normal circumstances that you're talking about 1 p.m., right? So you do not always have to say that p.m. or a.m. But I think in general sense we use 1 to 12, not like 24. Like sometimes like 8 p.m. was like a 20, 20, what do you call it? 2000, right? But we don't use it that way. So if you know 1 through 12, basically you're good. Okay, so 1時, 1 o'clock. 2時, so 2 is 2, 2時. 3時, 3 o'clock. 4時, 4時 is a little different because 4 is the number 4. 4, right? But when you say in a like hour or the time, that would be 4時. 4時. To make it a little shorter. 5時. 5 is go. 5時. 5 o'clock. 6時. 6 o'clock. 7時. This is challenging for a Spanish speaking person. Could be because 7時. She and she are very hard to pronounce. Maybe not all of you, but some of you. 7時. You can also say 7時because 7 is 7 or 7, although 7時is more common. It's not wrong to say 7時, but a little strange, actually. So 7時 would be very much, much more typical. 7時, 7 o'clock. 8時, 8 o'clock. 9時. Okay, this is also a little irregular because 9 is Q. When you count like this, you will say Q, like Q, letter Q, on alphabet. But when you use an hour, you say 9時. You don't say 9時. 9時, 9 o'clock. 10時. So 10 is 10, 10時. 11時. 11, 10 plus 1, right? 10 plus 1 is 11時. 11 o'clock. 12時, right? 12 o'clock. 12時. And if you want to say, 30 minutes, like 1:30, 1時半, something 半. Like we just, I was talking about that, 半. If you want to say 6:30, you say 6時半. Okay, so these you might have to kind of put that into your head, but once you know, then I can ask you what time things are, then you can like jump back and say what it is right away. So that's cool, right? Okay, so number 2, 何時にしますか? 何時にしますか? It's a little like a vague sentence. But 何時 is what time, 何 is a what, and 時 is a word indicating that like time. 時, so what time do you do something? しますか is to do, but it's super general because I guess it depends on what it is, the activity is. Maybe this textbook writer wanted to keep it general. What time does the man do the different things? 何時にしますか? So I think you want to remember about this man, I believe. Right? So kind of remembering that. But we also have to keep projecting this page because this one looks like 6:30. But this is 12, 12時. This is 10 p.m. A is 7:30, 7時半. And this is 12:30, 12時半. Let's see, let's hear and see. So you need to hear the hour, what's on the notebook. I'm gonna bring up the audio. Okay, 1:15.
1、6時半に起きます。2、7時半に会社に行きます。3、12時に昼ご飯を食べます。4、10時にお風呂に入ります。5、12時半に寝ます。
Okay. So there's some information that he didn't offer in this chart. But some things are there that he said, this man. Well, we looked at his lives here, right? Okay, so let's listen to it again.
1、6時半に起きます。2、7時半に会社に行きます。3、12時に昼ご飯を食べます。4、10時にお風呂に入ります。5、12時半に寝ます。
はい。Okay, so let's see here one by one.
1、6時半に起きます。
はい。6時半に起きます。6時半に起きます。So 半 so it's a half, right? And 6時半 6時 is 6. So 6:30 に起きます which is A, this one, right? So 6時半に起きます. So because it has 6:30 on this, number one is あ、カタカナ、あ、いう、え、お、right? あ、6時半に起きます。I get up at 6:30.
2、7時半に会社に行きます。
はい。7時半に会社に行きます。7時半に、7時半、what is 7時半 ?7 時半。7 is 7, 7時半。7:30, right here. 会社に行きます。7:30, 7時半に会社に行きます。I go to work at 7:30. So 7:30 is it with the wrist watch. 腕時計。We call it 腕時計。Because it's on the wristwatch, basically. So the number 3.
3、12時に昼ご飯を食べます。
はい。12時に昼ご飯を食べます。12時 here it's 12 o'clock 12時に昼ご飯を食べます。See this one F 昼ご飯を食べます。I eat lunch at 12. We don't know what he eats every day, but he eats at 12. Okay, so number 3 is eat 12 o'clock. Okay, next.
4、
4.
10時にお風呂に入ります。
Okay, 10時にお風呂に入ります。So, to information, 10時 is 10 o'clock. 10時にお風呂に入ります。お風呂に入ります is not in a picture, but お風呂に入る is to take a bath, like enter to bath kind of stuff. Bath meaning like bathtub, which is what Japanese people do many times. So instead of just taking shower, which is also a possibility, a lot of Japanese people immerse themselves into the bathtub full of water, warm water. Of course, you shower before, but you enter and kind of like relax every day. Some people every day, some people not. But so 10時にお風呂に入ります。Because he goes to work in the morning, it would be 10 p.m. that he takes shower. And some people take it in the morning, some people take it at night. But coming back to work, taking a shower at 10 p.m. makes sense, right? So 10時にお風呂に入ります。So you can imagine that it would be 10 p.m. that this person takes bath. So number 4 is this one. And the last one.
5、 12時半に寝ます。
12時半に寝ます。12時半 12:30 に寝ます。So this is only one left. 12:30 12時半に寝ます。I sleep at 12:30. So if he takes bath at 10 p.m., 12:30 will be a.m., right? 12:30 a.m. he goes to bed. He gets up at 6:30, so that's not a lot of time sleeping, but that's not the point, right? Okay, so he sleeps 12時半に寝ます。寝る is to sleep, go to bed. So I go to bed at 12:30. So 5 is O. Okay, did you get it? Was it too hard, too easy? Wow. Keep practicing. Let's keep practicing. It's here. Sorry. Okay. So I was looking. So what I was saying, there's got to be the rest of the story for this man, and here is the story. Let's go through since it's here. So 7時半 7:30. I think G first is 家に帰ります。家に帰ります。家 is my home. 帰ります to return. I return to my home. This is like a mailbox on the left. If you're living in apartments, well, Japanese maybe many times mansion, you have like common area mailbox. So you find yours, you have one that's in there for you, and all the mails are in there. 家に帰ります. So that's showing that he's very close to his home, almost to, at home. On this picture, it has the moon, so you can see that it's at night. 家に帰ります. I return home. And after that, he eats カレーかなこれ。晩ご飯を食べます。晩ご飯を食べます。晩ご飯。晩 is evening. 晩ご飯 is dinner. 晩ご飯を食べます。to eat. I eat dinner. 晩ご飯を食べます。Okay. And okay, so this one. 日記を書きます。日記を書きます。or ブログを書きます。ブログを書きます。So 日記 is diary and blog is blog. So whatever you do, you have all day at work, maybe something good happened, bad happened, you're thinking about something. So, he writes diary or blog. Some people write blogs as a form of diary, right? So, 書きます. 書く is to write. So, write a diary or write a blog. That's after that. And then, お風呂に入ります. That's the one that was that we assumed that he did. お風呂に入ります. Like this. Exactly like that in the picture. Or シャワーを浴びます. Shower is shower. を浴びます. 浴びる is like as an image that something coming to you from the top. So we also have expression that you like, what's a good word? Like you like here 浴びる like sunshine を浴びるみたいな like so because sunshine comes from the above to you, like the same verb is used for sunshine, shower. Yeah, something like that. So the image coming from, like this shower. シャワーを浴びます. That's why the verb is 浴びます. シャワーを浴びます. Take a shower. 12:30, 寝ます. To sleep. Okay. So you can either お風呂に入る or シャワーを浴びる either one, right? So whatever you do, you clean up yourself before you go to bed. Okay, so that's his day. Now it's complete. Okay, so listening again. 晩ご飯の後で何をしますか？晩ご飯の後で何をしますか？晩ご飯 is dinner, right? 後 after 後で何をしますか？何 what しますか、to do but question. So what do they do after dinner? 晩ご飯の後で何をしますか？ What do they do after dinner? Okay. 1の言葉を見て聞きましょう。So remember all the words that So we were describing daily activities, right? So remember those activities and listen to this next part. All right, number 1 is Joy-san. Joy-san. We already... Okay, I see. So the number C is what... How do you know what number is that there's a letter by each activity and we want you to identify which activity we're talking about. Okay. So let's try. So we already know it's C, which is C is 新聞を読みますね. So you should be hearing something related to reading a newspaper. 新聞を読みます. That's C. So Joy-san should be reading newspaper, but let's confirm.
1、晩ご飯の後で、ジョイさんは何をしますか？
私は新聞を読みます。
そうですか。
Okay, so the question and answer again.
1、
晩ご飯の後で、ジョイさんは何をしますか？
私は新聞を読みます。
そうですか。
Okay, did you hear 私は新聞を読みます? So the question was 晩ご飯の後で何をしますか? Exactly what that's written here is what the gentleman asked. And Joy-san said 私は I 新聞を newspaper 読みます. I read newspaper. Okay. What does Kawai-san do after dinner? Let's listen.
2、河合さんは何をしますか？私はお風呂に入ります。お風呂ですか？
Again.
2、河合さんは何をしますか？私はお風呂に入ります。お風呂ですか？
Okay, did you hear the word お風呂? It's here.
2、
Number 2.
河合さんは何をしますか？
Okay, 河合さんは Kawai san is the name of the person here. 何をしますか? So because we already heard from Joy-san, we were talking about after dinner activity. So you don't have to repeat again. So this person just said 何をしますか? What about you, Kawai-san? Kawai-san kind of stuff, right? What do you do, Kawai-san? 何をしますか? Kawai-san said お風呂に入ります. お風呂に入ります. This one. お風呂に入ります. J. お風呂に入ります. So I take bath. So you would put J here. Okay? So if you heard that お風呂に入ります, then you got that. Right? Next.
3、田中さんは何をしますか？
私は寝ます。
へえ、そうですか。
La señora dijo, "お風呂に入る." Entonces la otra dijo, "お風呂に入るしますか?"
No.
Como está preguntando, pero nomás para preguntar. Como está preguntando otra vez.
No, he was just okay. So, 質問は、there was a question what the interviewer said right after what Kawai-san said. So, going back, sorry, we'll get to Tanaka-san.
2、河合さんは何をしますか？
Okay, so what do you do, Kawai-san?
私はお風呂に入ります。
I take a bath.
お風呂ですか？
お風呂ですか? So the interviewer said, "Oh, お風呂. Oh, you take the bath." She was just kind of repeating and saying that, oh, okay, that's what you do. Sort of confirming, kind of. It's just a statement saying, okay. And that's all. So it wasn't like doubting or anything. It's just like repeating and saying, that's what you do. Okay, kind of stuff. All right, number 3, Tanaka-san.
3、田中さんは何をしますか？
私は寝ます。
へえ、そうですか。
はい、もう一回聞きます。Again.
3、田中さんは何をしますか？
私は寝ます。
へえ、そうですか。
はい、again. Number
3、
1, number 3.
田中さんは何をしますか？
田中さんは何をしますか? So same style as number 2, Kawai-san, right? What do you do, 田中さん?
私は寝ます。
私は寝ます。これです。K. 寝ます。I go to bed. After dinner, I go to bed. Okay.
へえ、そうですか。
へえ、そうですか。I see. そうですか。へえ、そうですか。I see. Okay. That's it. So answer is K. Tanaka-san goes to bed. Last one's Jose-san. What does he do after dinner?
4、ホセさんは何をしますか？
私は仕事をします。
え、仕事？
はい、もう一回。ちょっと違いますよね。
4、ホセさんは何をしますか？
私は仕事をします。
え、仕事？
Okay, let's go one by one.
4、
Number
ホ
4.
セさんは何をしますか？
ホセさんは何をしますか? What do you do, ホセさん? ホセ?
私は仕事をします。
私は仕事をします。仕事。Remember what 仕事 is? 仕事 is this one. E. 仕事. Okay, but 仕事 could be any kind of work, right? So it could be computer type work, it could be construction work, teaching. I mean, that's what I do, right? Partly do research, write a book, grocery store, anything is 仕事. It's work, it was work. So we don't know what he does, what Jose-san does, but he says 仕事をします. So I work. Basically, Jose-san said, 私は仕事をします。So I work. Okay, because some people work night shift. Nurses work night shift. Other healthcare providers as well, right? So we don't know what he does, but he works at night.
え、仕事？
仕事? It's like, really? You work? That's kind of like the interview. I guess she wasn't expecting this. So, okay. So how did it go? All right. Next. Okay. So this one. Let's see. 朝 It's morning. We kind of talked about it when we were talking about food. Asa. Because if you put gohan, that's breakfast. Asa gohan is breakfast. But asa itself is morning. Hiru is noontime, right? During the daytime. So hiru gohan would be lunch, right? Yoru is at night. The word that we looked at said ban gohan, but you could also say yoru gohan. That's fine. So dinner would be yoru gohan or ban gohan, right? So let's listen. We have a person who works for a company, I guess. Number 2 is sumo wrestler. I guess she draws manga. Number 3. Number 4 looks like a politician. And number 5 looks like a singer. So let's see. Let's listen.
2、早いですね。1、聞きましょう。
Right. 早いですね is the title of this section. Oh, that's early. 早い is two things. It's early or fast. It's a different kanji, but same word. But because we're talking about time, it wouldn't be like fast, like quick, fast, but early. Okay.
1、吉田さんは毎日何時に起きますか？
6時半に起きます。
早いですね。じゃあ何時に寝ますか？
12時半ごろ寝ます。
Okay, again.
1、吉田さんは毎日何時に起きますか？
6時半に起きます。
早いですね。じゃあ何時に寝ますか？
12時半ごろ寝ます。
Hey, okay. So what time he gets up, what time he goes to bed?
1、
Number 1.
吉田さんは毎日何時に起きますか？
Okay, Yoshida-san. This is Yoshida-san. Yoshida-san wa mainichi, every day, 何時に起きますか? Every day, what time do you get up? 何時に起きますか? Right? 何時に起きますか? What time do you wake up? 何時に寝ますか is what time do you go to bed, right? 何時に起きますか? That's the first question.
6時半に起きます。
6時半に起きます。So 6時半、6:30. 6 is 6. 6時半、half. 6時半に起きます。I get up at 6:30.
早いですね。
早いですね。That's early. 早いですね。That's the main thing there.
じゃあ何時に寝ますか？
じゃあ、何時に寝ますか？じゃあ is like, then what, 何時に what time 寝ますか go to bed. What time do you go to bed then?
12時半ごろ寝ます。
12時半ごろ寝ます。12時半。12 is 12. 半 is half, right? 12:30. 12時半ごろ。ごろ is about, around 12:30. 12時半ごろ寝ます。12時半ごろ寝ます。I go to bed around 12:30. Okay, so I want to do the rest of this next week because it's now close to 10:40. We will have a special guest and a speaker really different from usual speakers actually. So some of the speakers we speak in Japanese and I'll be interpreting into English or Spanish or both. So we'll start the Bible study a little bit after 11, but it's time, so we'll stop here. But please review the time, how do you say the time, activities, because if you know in your head, it'll be easier to listen and be able to identify those activities and time. Okay, thank you everyone for joining, and we'll hope to see you in Bible study and also next week with regular time. starting around 9:55, 10-ish. So, okay, thank you. ありがとうございます。